Hello, everyone, and thanks for visiting us on this episode of the Pave It Forward podcast. My name is Phil Metzger, and with me is Kevin Gray, Andre Gray, and Mike Reves, and we are here to help leaders in the paving industry who are looking to run more efficiently, meet their ideal customer, and improve the lives of those around them through meaningful work. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great. Can't speak for these two fine folks, but I'm sure they're having a rock star kind of Monday themselves, so I'll let them chime in here.
Quite the dandy Monday.
Yeah, everything's going great.
Yeah, so that's Andre and Mike. Andre runs the Director of First Impressions at ADC Paving, and Mike is the new stud salesman coming in, shaking up the industry. And it really is kind of a coincidence that what we were going to talk about today is actually some of Mike and Andre's actions in ADC and what we've kind of noticed about that. So I'm pretty excited, and it's really worked out that you guys are available. So thank you very much for being here, man.
Yeah,
Both of you.
100%. These two gentlemen sitting here have contributed quite a bit to some of the changes and new things we're trying out as we evolve here, and constantly it feels like mustering through growing pains, which is expected. I don't know. I guess we wouldn't have it any other way around here. You know what I mean? So we seem to always be trying to improve and make sure we're operating the best of our capabilities and capacities, given the work, the workforce, customer type, equipment, that we've got to match those things up to make us efficient and able to deliver on the quality that our customers expect and demand. So these two have been integral, lending their thoughts and ideas in our direction as we make some of these changes and get the ball continually rolling. So glad they're here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, when I was writing this episode, I kept titling it The Shift in my notes, and I just left it at that because it seems to me there have been 3 to 6 guys in the company who are starting to, excuse me, not only understand, but kind of help shape the vision. And I wanted to kind of dive into that because plans of culture change at ADC has been spoken of for years, and there's always been flashes of what that might look like. There's people every year, and there's longstanding workers here that will show that every once in a while. But something in the last, 6 weeks or so, something seems to be happening where these guys are really kind of stepping up. And first of all, Kevin, do you know what I'm talking about here? It kind of seems like it kind of feels like all 3 of you guys might understand what I'm talking about a little bit.
Exactly what you're speaking of, and it's interesting. We've been through times like this, like these before. This is my 12th season or so. We acquired the company back in 2011, so there's been a couple to this. I think this is probably the third major shift that I've seen in my career. The third really big kind of pivot moment. We've got some aha moments going on. We've got some both in the positive and negative facets as well. So figuring out some things that have we've been doing maybe wrong for a little too long, and some things we want to start doing better, or new ideas that we want to implement and try going forward. So we're also we're interviewing quite a few folks now too. We've got actually a couple really good candidates we're hoping to get in the door soon, and what I'm telling to those guys, the vision that I'm able to sell and bring to them, along with the folks that have kind of been here through the transition we're going through, is that we're kind of getting an opportunity to be on the ground floor again, to be on a new solid foundation. Coincidentally, the reason these guys are here and got everybody here today, we're cleaning out the shops. We had our subtenant move out, so we got 2 more bays that we're able to use here at our facilities. So nice. We're kind of cleaning house, literally and figuratively, if you will. So we're getting the shops cleaned out, reestablished, getting each bay assigned to crews, getting their own space, getting everything in tip-top shape and organized so we can be efficient, getting out of here in the mornings and coming in the evenings, getting ready to go to work the day after. Also getting everything cleaned up out there, getting a fresh, brand new appearance, and just we want everybody to feel good when they come to work, somewhere they can come and be proud of, and continue to take care of it, and wear the ADC logo, the badge on their chest, proud every day. So it's I know exactly what you're talking about, and during this time, times like this, like I said, it's probably the third one I've been through in my career. It's awesome to see the folks step up that have been here and maybe have witnessed some of the negative things that have been going on, some of the things, they might not have spoken up about that needed to change, or ideas they may have had. We always preach communication, being open and approachable, and as good as we are at that, there's always room to get better. Like, we have a lot of really good people on team, a lot of really smart, sharp, intelligent people throughout the company. And when we all start talking together as a group and really getting into conversation, it's amazing how productive we can be with the collective vision. And it's happening again. We've made some big changes. It's almost like you feel the gray clouds being lifted or melting into the sunshine, and we're getting ready to go. So
That's right.
I'm ready.
So, Andre, you have made the transition from the field to the office, which I can say that hasn't happened ever since I've just witnessed paving businesses happen. But can you tell me a little bit about, because one of the biggest problems we face, or the biggest questions we get, is to how to find and keep new people motivated. Can you kind of just tell me about when you started at ADC and then what the transition to the front desk has kind of been like?
I started off as a shovel guy, and I was just always so eager to learn. And it motivated me hearing Kevin tell me that I was super coachable. That was something that I've never heard anybody tell me that how coachable I was. And I kind of took it and ran with it. And it's like, if a stranger can see how coachable I am, I don't feel like there's a limit to what I can learn. And so the transition to the office, it came about as just doing something that I could see myself doing, and that nobody else wanted to do. I could see, and that's just how it came about. It's a newfound respect, though. I've got so much respect for this office work here.
Yeah. These field guys, they just assume this office is just kind of here to answer the phone, right? They don't,
Sure.
Respect, because the guys out in the field, they're the ones putting in all the hard work for the business.
Sure.
So it's always, the crew guys, at least, it's like, well, the office staff and sales staff, well, they got it made. It's like, well, come spend it. He can tell you
the beauty of cross training.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Like, we never imagined a field guy would come into the front desk, and when he offered to do that, it's like, you know what? We think that can work, because it's always taken us a long time to train that person at that desk. Whether they've done something like that in their career in the past, they don't understand or know a thing about our industry typically. So they don't know how to have intelligent, constructive, educational conversations with our customers who are calling in to rely on us as the professional.
Sure.
And he's able to dive into that. It's interesting when he's got that stuff kind of mastered. We're having to teach him more of the kind of the clerical office, administrative stuff. And it's usually the other way around, but I think it's going to be easier this way. And so far, I mean, we all know Cindy. If you're watching this podcast, familiar with business, everyone's familiar with Miss Cindy Hoover, who she might as well say she runs this place, because all the boys and other, are out getting it every day. She has been flat out impressed with his efforts. And it comes down to the 10 things that require zero talent, man. It really does. Like, you can do those things every day, then we can teach you the rest. No different with that spot in our organization. And it's a testament to, when I hire everyone I sit down here, I say, we're hiring you in for this position, but we want you to be happy and fulfilled when you come to work here.
Sure.
Every job is open and available. If you have something you really want to get into or passionate about, we're going to find a way to make that happen. So this is really cool, man.
I guarantee you, every one of our listeners is like, ask him how he found ADC. Did someone refer you to ADC, or how did you even come to work with ADC, Andre?
Good old Drew.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's how I got here, is Drew. Drew came past a restaurant that I was working at, and he just said, "You got too much of a personality to be stuck here like this."
So one of the ADC former employees came and recruited, basically saw that you had a personality and said, "You need to come work with us."
Yeah, and I jumped on it fast and said, "You know what? Yeah, let's give it."
something I have noticed about you is that you also jumped on the paver the first opportunity that you get, that you got. I think a lot of people were maybe a little intimidated by the offer to, if you'd like to train or do anything, then, step up and ask. And you just kind of even skipped the ask part. You just kind of hopped on there and started training yourself. And
Yeah.
so I know they miss you in the field, but I know they enjoy having you there in the office.
I
And,
miss the field.
you miss the
I
field?
miss the
No,
field.
don't worry, we'll get you back out there this Wednesday through Friday. So
Yeah.
don't you
Boy,
worry.
that'll be an Andre tug of war between Cindy and Kevin the rest of the year then, huh?
Yeah, well, she she knows where we are, and she's been, she's supportive. She's been here for 8 years, man. She's kind of been the rock around this place, honestly. So she knows what it's the mentality, whatever it takes, kind of mentality, willingness to do whatever, whenever. Those are usually the people that stick around here, by the way.
Sure. It's the one that has that team aspect and learn what they need to learn. And speaking of which, Mike, you have come in as a new salesman at ADC. And so you've been here about a little over a year now, maybe a year.
No, man, first of the year. This is my first season.
First of the year. That's right.
First
I think Kevin was maybe trying to woo you a little bit before the first of the year, talk sweet to you. But
Yeah, we before I came on, me and Kevin hashed that out for several months.
Yeah. We've been in communication since you built my truck, essentially, the 2500 diesel Silverado. Was it 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a reason. I always felt it in my gut. There was a reason we stayed in touch for all that time.
So you kind of did the exact same thing, kept a very intelligent, potentially able person in the industry in mind, and then just referred back to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
100%.
So Mike, you're on the sales team. How is it so far compared to what you thought it would be, just dealing in the sales and asphalt paving industry?
I mean, the sales part, because I was doing sales before this, sales part was, I guess, the easiest part. Figuring out how to connect with customers, everything that we need to do a job correctly, and how to plug that into my personality has been the fun part. But as far as, everything else, pretty expected.
Gotcha. And how do you so you definitely have a very good personality for sales. You tell it like it is. You kind of bring kind of an upfront nature to, the tasks that you have in front of me. And how do you feel that that's kind of fit into ADC so far? Because it's actually was my thought that won't stop before I even knew that you'd be on the episode, but it was just you having a different type of personality that seems to kind of be catching on as far as holding the other leaders in the company responsible. So how do you feel like what traits do you have that you think really kind of came in and started helping immediately? Because it's obvious that it's making an impact.
Well, thank you, I guess. I'm glad I wanted to add value to the team when I came here. It's something I think about constantly is how can I add value other than just selling driveways and commercial deals? How can I add value to everybody that's here? And a lot of people don't want to hurt each other's feelings, or they don't want to say what needs to be said. And even when I'm selling, I just want to be honest with my customer of what really needs to happen and how we're going to go about our business. And when you're open and honest and you say what needs to be said, things are immediately better. Immediately better. People don't have to wonder where they stand with you. Your customers don't have to wonder, if you're fluffing their estimate to see if they're getting a real number, or you just seeing what you can get away with, because you've already set the tone that you're going to do things the right way and you're going to say what needs to be said up front.
Yeah, even if some of that transparency is bad news or things they don't want to hear, like it's really a way to your the more educational you can be and the more real, transparent you can be with your customers. Like that's what they're looking for. They're looking for professionalism.
And I
smoke blown.
And I feel like that communication where there used to be like a lot of separate messaging groups, and like somebody said one thing, somebody said another. I noticed that, Mike, I recently just got added to like the entire company type group. I don't know if this has always happened, but I feel like just more recently there's more pictures. I mean, everyone has a camera in their pocket, so there's pictures of this is why this matters, and that seems to be happening a lot. And the reason I really got into this entire episode was that shift but I wanted to know if there were any like rules or like changes in messaging and communication, because I think that's what kind of Mike brings. I think Andre brings an openness to discuss things and step up. But as far as group versus individual messaging, do any of you all have any kind of thoughts or communication rules as far as a company with ADC?
As far as rules go, I don't think really. I mean, what I have asked, and what I've told multiple people in the company, is, I want your feedback, and I don't care if it's public or not. I want you to know. I mean, I screwed something up just the other day and didn't have the correct measurements for one of our prep crews, and he texted me on the group and was like, "Hey, this doesn't cut it," and I told him thank you. I said, message me directly and I'll get you what you need. And you just can't be afraid of that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's going to make me better. It's going to make him better.
Yeah, we're definitely not afraid to, I don't want to say call up people. I mean, the constructive criticism, I almost encourage to share it amongst other, at least everybody that could or might be involved with the process that we're working through, just because a lot of times it's such a good learning experience for more than just, maybe the two people involved. It's an opportunity for someone else to read it and say, oh, so that's happened in this situation. I've been in that situation before, or I'll know to look out for that next time. And it's, we got 22, 25 employees, out with us most of the time. So there are a lot of group messages that go on. Kind of that's just the way of the world we operate in. There's typically a lot of people, or more than two people, that need the information that's being passed around. These two guys, and it's so good because it's something I've struggled with for a large portion of my career. Mainly, it's no excuse, but I call it, I've been busy or whatever. Like these guys, and a lot of the guys we have on the team now they're really not afraid or hesitant or have any fear involved when they've got to have a hard conversation with a teammate or be constructive. So we're able to move a lot faster and get more done, not more done on the job site per se, but more done internally as far as systems and processes, because we are having these hard conversations, and that's refreshing. Now we like to keep text messages to being information only, like, because it is a little impersonal. And I'm guilty of this, something I've really got to work on too, and hopefully folks will follow. But if we need to have a conversation with somebody, like talk about, text messaging is for, strictly for directives or communication, phone call, if it's, something, it's best served for a phone call, conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of filling in those cracks, and it's been kind of people stepping up in their own individual way and fitting all the pieces together. And I could see why you all kind of have a little bit of confused look when I kind of posed that, because 3 years ago, it just felt like even I would get in somehow in the middle of things. If someone would come up and say something to me, then the next person would come up and wonder what they say. And one person heard one thing and there'd be another thing going on. So I think it's just a testament that, the leadership skills that you all both kind of have are getting to be put on display this early at ADC. And I really want to thank you guys for being here and doing that. It's been a joy working with you guys. So yeah, thanks for coming on. And I think I'll definitely get you on, both of you all on, if we could pick your brain again, because you both have some pretty good stories and skills. And especially Andre, you've been talking to me about how crazy that office is. I'm excited to see some of this from the desk from Dre DC on social media.
Yeah.
I guess on the backside of what we just talked about too is probably one of my, favorite things, or one of the things I like the most, is how much transparency we have here. We don't have secrets in our company. We're very open and transparent, and that makes things so much better when, once again, you're not guessing or wondering or running on rumors. It's, it's just said. And that's, I guess, the backside of that communication rule.
Yes. Yeah. We didn't have that for a long time. Like it was, it's refreshing. And it's like I said, even, here, it's not always good news or positive or rah-rah. There is a lot of that. We like to give credit where credit's due, but a lot of it is constructive as we're going through these growing pains, especially with the staff we've kind of been reduced to, which I think is just an opportunity for everybody that's here to get better. I mean, to grab a role, to try something new out. I mean, I'd almost rather go into getting ready to get into the second half of the season here. Like, here it comes. Like, is everybody ready? And I love the team we've got. Like, I'd go into war with these folks, like, because I know we all communicate, we all hold each other accountable, we all trust each other. Like, the people that are no longer with us, they're not here for a reason. It's, some of those were very hard, tedious, long, drawn out processes for multiple reasons, and that those suck. But and I think it's. I think I think this industry as a whole is notoriously guilty for tolerating stuff or hanging on to things or people or their behaviors for too long, because we feel like we're so limited in the workforce. Like, who's going to run the paver tomorrow? Oh God, our roller man, he needs to be suspended. Well, how are we going to go pave this parking lot tomorrow? We need 3 roller operators. Well, 9 times out of 10, we figured it out. So I feel like we get over a barrel a lot of the time. And I'm just talking about ourselves, I'm talking about a lot of companies in this industry, because we think or we feel that every position is such a skilled and acquired, skill, basically work skill set that they've got to have to be able to go perform work. Truthfully, if you've got at least a good leader or two, around still, and someone that's coachable, nothing we do is rocket science or impossible. You can usually get somebody good enough able to keep the ball going down the court within a handful of days, if you've got the right kind of folks that are open and approachable and coachable. So it's a shift in that mindset as well.
Absolutely. Well, I know we're up against it a little bit here, but guys, we have a segment to wrap everything up called The Thought That Won't Stop. And so basically, I got you. Well, I'll just start that segment again then.
Yeah, that's fine.
So guys, we'll just sit here and take 3. So guys, this is a segment we call The Thought That Won't Stop. And guys, what we do every week is Kevin and I kind of just reflect over our thoughts of the past week and see if there isn't one that pops up. Typically, it's about paving or something we're curious about in the next week, in the next quarter, or just something that keeps popping up that we want to see if we can solve. So I guess, Mike, we'll start with you. Is there anything that you're looking forward to seeing, observing?
I guess on the sales side of things, you get, as I work and learn more about these commercial deals and how they work, there's a ton of these commercial deals that are hanging out there and we've got soft commitments for. I'm excited to see the back end of the season, how it plugs together with all these large commercial deals and how we handle it as a team, because it's going to be, there's a lot of work there.
Excellent.
So it's exciting, and of course it'll be a learning experience for me.
Sure. Andre, anything from the desk?
From the front desk.
I'm waiting to see how we pull through the adversity, same way we did last year. I think last season we finished the season with a 5-man paving crew.
Yeah.
So
we were smoking too.
We were smoking the boots. We were smoking the boots. So they're still coming out looking like glass and butter, baby. So
yes.
That's great. Yeah, that goes back to those.
To fight the adversity.
Nice. Yeah, it's nice having those at least 1 or 2 leaders. I think Kevin was kind of talking about. So even if you got 5, you can get it done.
Yeah, I mean, if you got the right people, man. We were doing things last year with the talent. Here I go back to like, oh my God, we got to have people with this many years experience to do these certain things on a paving crew. I mean, we were doing things normal crews shouldn't be doing with the experience level we had out there, and then making them look immaculate. I mean, literally looking back on them, being like I'm out walking the parking lot at night with the street lights on them, showing off. I'm like, look at, just slick, smooth drainage. I mean, customers happy. We're done ahead of schedule. Like I find it, here I am guilty. Like I forget those moments, when I'm in the thick of the season or the rush, the crunch, the growing pains. I forget that we've been here before. We've been in way worse situations than we are before. I've
Sure.
been doing this 12, 13 years. Like, I mean, and if you know the story, you know where we've come from. So like, come on, Kev, like you've been here before. This isn't new territory. Think about the good, the positive, the productive things that we are and have been capable of, instead of immediately going to, how are we going to go to work tomorrow?
Problem solving panic.
But
Yeah.
we've got truck drivers out here. I got a truck driver paved 2 or 3 jobs with me last week on the paver, running skid steers. I got truck drivers grabbing shovels. I didn't even ask them to. It's
Yeah.
like, we got the right freaking people in the building.
Hell
Right.
yeah, man. Talk about
So-
making it coming to work more enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, we're all having fun getting the yard put back together in the shops, and taking a couple, and this is intentional. It worked out nice. We have, taken these 2 days right now to get everything set back up and reestablished and really set to go for the second half. We're spending a couple of days together as a unit, as a team, as a family, and everybody's having a good time. We're talking, chit chatting, shooting the breeze, and really looking forward to the push, man. So,
Excellent. So is that going to be your official thought that won't stop submission? Looking forward to the
no, I
future?
just started talking a bunch after the 2. No, I mean, my thought that won't stop. It basically stems off of that. All of what I just said, and it's been my thought that won't stop. Maybe even a time or 2 already this year, because we've had a significant turnover, all for the right reasons. This is the second time this season. We hired a bunch of folks that we thought we needed to have on our team and staff to execute the workload that was coming at us, more layers of management. Turns out we really didn't, and that they really weren't the right fit not many folks are the right fit for this culture, by the way. We're very transparent with that in the hiring process. The way they were interviewed and answered the questions led me to believe that they were, but it didn't take long. We all saw it in North Carolina, on the way to the retreat when we had the group retreat. That like, I don't know if this is gonna, anyway, but so, a couple times already this season, I think I brought this up, but it's step back, get out of the damn forest a little bit, get above the canopy, Kevin. And coach these folks, coach your team. Like that's my thought that won't stop. It's coming in, every day with intentionality and focus and determination. If that's what the folks here need, is some good leadership and a coach. I got to be willing to be patient. I got to be willing to be understanding. I got to be willing to know we're going to be doing a few jobs for practice, as much as that hurts everybody involved. It's going to happen, and just at the end of the day, be ready to execute when these projects we've got to fulfill by the time it snows are coming at us, and everybody wants it done yesterday. So
Sure.
be the coach, be the culture. The
Sure.
culture usually starts with the leader, and then it's not just me. Like, I'm not the only leader. 2 gentlemen sitting beside me are leaders of this company, whether they know it or not. So everybody in this organization can be seen as a leader if they believe that in themselves. How are we all showing up every day? How we're all showing up is going to determine what the culture looks like. That all starts with the top. So if I can show up every day, at least 95% of the days, and be a focal point and a good leader, a good attitude, and a good listener, then sky's the limit. Easy peasy.
Sure.
It's just blacktop. We're not out here saving lives and performing, emergency heart surgery and correcting brain aneurysms. We're putting down rocks on the road. So
Sure.
we got this.
Yeah, that coachability, it's definitely come along. So you've definitely got quite a few more people than you've had in the past. So I definitely think you're on the right trail there.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, if you look at who's on the team now, based on when we've kind of had to do this in the past, it's like we're good,
absolutely.
and we're getting ready to bring in a couple more. So
That's right. Well, my thought that won't stop was just, as I kind of referred to earlier, is just, especially through Mike, kind of bringing me more through the sales process, and really, instead of just focusing on bringing the customer digitally through the door and through all the different, I'm realizing I've learned just about every pathway, target, and strategy in the business, and coming from a production creative side, like that was my goal. But when it comes to not only targeting newer customers that are exactly what we want, which we can get more aggressive with at this point of year, it's filling in the gaps in the customer acquisition process through the, here's your final bill, will you rate us on Google? So it's discovering those paths, plugging up those all those different pathways, and really seeing what happens when we focus all of our attention on these very, on the smaller customer base that we're actually going for. So it feels like the whole company is really setting themselves up for a pretty dynamic 2023 when it comes down to it. We're only halfway through, and I know we got a lot of 2022 left. But if things go right, it's hard to stop thinking about that kind of stuff. So anyways, guys, any last comments before we bid adieu today?
No, I'm good, man.
Awesome. Well, thanks
Great.
for joining us, guys.
I'm fired up, man. I'm ready to go now.
I hear you. Well, I think you're going to have an
Thank you.
opportunity, Kev.
Yeah, appreciate the platform, brother.
Absolutely. Well, if anybody out there would like to contact these guys, you can contact them through any of the ADC social medias or anything like that. We can hook you up. Dre just got his new account, Dre DC. I believe you can. You can search that out, Mike. If you have any way you want people to contact you want to shout it out?
I mean, I'm on Instagram, tagged with all the ADC stuff. Of course, you can always hit me up. Just company email, Mike at ADC Paving, and I'm easy to find.
Thank you very much.
6'7". He's very easy to find.
Yeah. If you're saying he's hard to find, you're not telling the truth.
You aren't looking. Your eyes aren't open. Well, thanks. I appreciate that, Mike. And I know a lot of people appreciate what you had to say today. So thanks, guys. And this has been the Pave It Forward podcast, where we aim to help leaders in the paving industry who are looking to run more efficiently, meet their ideal customer, and improve the lives of those around them through meaningful work. Thanks for listening, everybody.